Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of Mount Everest. I promised you that the waiting time wouldn't be that long, and I think I was right. I have not counted the days, but I think I really have the feeling that this third episode came much quicker than the second episode. My throat is doing much better, so I think I can deal with the icy temperatures here at Mount Everest again. And yeah, I think let's get started with the red player, who is currently the starting player. And as usual, we will have to go through all the phases, and phase 1 is the card selection. And right now we have to deal more or less with this guide, who wants to place a camp, I believe, here or here. To be honest, I'm really thinking to place the camp at this height, and that's because most weather effects do not apply above 8,000 meters, so I think this could really be beneficial, at least for the red player who only has one camp left. Okay, so we need 4 upward movement for going in that section, and then we need another 2 for placing the camp, and right now I think... that's tough. I think I will spend this 3 card here to place that camp. As we are still in phase 1 and the blue player could now use an oxygen tank. At this point in time, there is this camp with 1 oxygen tank in the height between 6 and 7,000. And in this height you can only spend 1 oxygen tank. Oh no, that's not right. You can spend an oxygen tank and claim 1 acclimatization card for each tank here. If you would do the same between the heights of 7 and 8,000 meters, then you would gain 2 cards for each oxygen tank, and above the 8,000 meter line you would gain even 3 acclimatization cards. And right now I'm really thinking to not use this oxygen tank, because right now we don't have any clients at the appropriate height. And the weather condition also, I think, they really seem to be fine. Let's select these cards here. And so I think we can now go to the risk tokens. Blue blade 6 points. No, that's wrong. That's 4 points, because the upward movement of this down card is 0. Whereas the red player has a total upward movement of 7. So again, it would be his turn to get a risk token, and I will need this 1 risk token. Let's reveal a new one. Again, that's a risk token with a value of 1. So we have to deal with this 1 risk token here. I planned only to move this guide at this turn, and we have to deal with this 1 risk token, and again I will use this risk token to reduce the movement. So in order to get to this level, this would be 1 and 2, and we can directly go to this one. So we need 1, 2 and 4 because of this symbol, so we need 2 movement points, or 4 movement points. So this would be this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And in order to unload the camp here, we would need 2 additional movement points. And we have this card. And this card would also be modified by the risk token. So this is now exactly 2. Oops, you don't see that. Sorry. So this is now exactly 2 movement points we need to place our camp here, which we will do. So this is the red camp, and of course he will also unload his oxygen tank to this camp. And now we will do something very tricky. So for once I think we will move this guy down with this downward movement card here. We will move the other guide up with this movement card. Then they will exchange the tent, so this camp and this climber goes to the other guide. Note you keep all the acclimatization levels of each client, and then we play another card worth of 2 value to send this guide back up. These are already all the actions in this round, so we come to the acclimatization turn. So again, these guys here, they don't gain any additional levels of acclimatization because they're already maxed out. And the same applies to this client here with a blue guide, who is also already maxed out. so there will be no changes. I think there are no additional clients on the board. And though we can give the starting player token back to the blue player, we will move the day track one day further, and this is again a very bad day at Mount Everest. Each player will draw 3 new cards, and these are now the last of his appropriate deck basically. So during the next turn or after this turn, they are not allowed to redraw any cards, so they have to deal with the cards that they leave in this turn, and only after that's when you're no longer able to gain additional cards, then you would be allowed to reshuffle your discard pile, and then you have a full deck again. Blue chooses these cards and red goes for these cards. Again, red has to choose a risk token because he has a total upward movement of 5, whereas blue only has an upward movement of 3. Note, this is a downward ladder basically and has an upward movement value of 0, so there is no way around it. And again, red goes for this marker with the number 1. And here's one with the number 0. Awesome. Okay, blue goes first, and he will use 3 movement points up. So that's 1, 2, and 3. In this camp, he will unload his client, and we will move the 3rd card with a downward movement of 3 to move this climber 1, 2, 3 spaces back to the base camp. And there we will go with 1, 2, 3 clients, so basically climbers, and I think we will take 1 additional oxygen with us. And I think the red player will play this card to this guide here, and now this is something I'm not very sure about it. The rules do not tell that. So basically what I want to do is go down, load this guide, this is basically a free action, and then move him directly back up with these cards. I have not found it in the rules, so I will now assume that this is allowed. If I might be wrong, please let me know. So for once, we will now load this guide, and he will take the clients who are very well prepared already for the summit. And I think we will take these 2 tourists here as well. Of course, they go here to the level 3, as it's their maximum level. There is still 1 client left, but as you might remember, I'm not allowed to exceed the limits of any guide here. So I can now hopefully use the remaining movement point here to move him up again into the icefall region, and then I will go with this card here and send him 1 step further up. And I will play the 2nd card to this climber. I have to send him down basically. I have to apply this risk token here, so I have to subtract 1 movement value. Of course I will move down, so I'm allowed to move down 3 spaces. That's 1, 2, and 3. Let's come to the acclimatization. The weather for today says in the height between 6 and 8 thousandths, all clients lose 2 levels of acclimatization. Right now we have only 1 client here at this height, and this is from the blue guide here. First thing that would happen, he would gain 1 level of acclimatization because in a tent. Again, this is only a temporal status, and now he would lose 2 levels of acclimatization due to the weather, so he would move down 3 and 2. And that's the reason why it is allowed to exceed the normal maximum of acclimatization, and this is only being capped when we come to the end of the acclimatization level, because without allowing the exceeding, this client here would be already here down to 1, but right now I think he is still fine. This guide here is still well below under the 6,000 meter line, so this is fine. So his clients don't lose any levels of acclimatization, and of course the same applies for the client in this camp. Let's move the starting player token to the red player. Move the weather token 1 step further. Again, nice weather today. We will not draw any additional cards because we don't have any more left in our deck. So we have to deal with these 3 cards at this point in time. So let's reveal our cards here. Red has only an upward movement value of 1. whereas blue has an upward movement value of 7 here. So I think this is pretty clear. Luckily, there is still this risk token left, and I think he really wants to have that here. So I think he's taking this risk token with the value 0. He's revealing a new one, another one with a value 0. Even though the weather is good today, I know that the next days will be pretty bad. So I think I will use most of the cards on this climber here, but I think I will risk something. Yeah, let's do that. So I will play this upward movement card here to the guide with the 4 clients on board. Yeah, then I think I will use these cards to 1, 2, 3, move this guy down, or no, only use this one first. 1, 2, 3, move him down here, and I think, no, it's okay, I think it's fine. Let's play these cards here as well. I was thinking of exchanging the goods here, but I think this is not really necessary. So let's move this guide 1, 2 spaces further down. So these were already the actions of the red player. Let's play these 2 cards on this guide here. So this will be 2 movement points, 4 movement points, 5 movement points. Then we will place our camp here with the last movement points. Luckily, we only have this risk token with the value 0 here. So we can place the camp here at this height. I was really thinking if I should do that, but I don't want to place it here. I think the distance is too high for climbers going between these 2 camps here. I think this is not really realistic, but we have still 1 more card to go. Of course, this is only an upward movement of 1, but this is okay. We will bring this climber here up there. And I think I noted something, because I loaded this guide here at the end of, or in this last action phase, and during the acclimatization level I have not given the clients any levels of acclimatization. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that during the last acclimatization, because they were at base camp. So this is 1 additional point for these climbers here. Yeah, that's correct. And now we come to the real acclimatization level of check for this phase. It's fair weather. This guy is at a camp, so we can move him up 1 level of acclimatization, which is definitely nice, and we need that. The tourists and climbers at next to this guide, they are already maxed out. It's nice weather, so they don't suffer any penalties here due to the height. But this time I will remember this guide again. So once more we can increase the levels of acclimatization for these climbers. Let's give the starting player token back to the blue player, the date track to this token here, so this gets discarded. We will put this here to this side, and wow, look at this. Here will come some very nice day. So definitely there we will see some victory points in the next few days. I'm pretty sure of that. And now we can shuffle the discard piles of all the players and give each of them again 6 cards to choose from. Again, I will end my playthrough here. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully I haven't made too many mistakes. One I already found out myself, which is good. So I forgot the acclimatization levels for the blue player's client. But hopefully apart from that, I should be okay. I'm pretty sure that strategically spoken my decisions are weak. But I have to live with that. And still, I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, this only leaves me to say, hope to see you soon in my next episode of my playthrough of Mount Everest. And until then, bye bye.